We got test, test, test. I'm pretty quiet. Anyways, I'm on. So. don't. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Awaken Morning Show. I am your host, KMAC. And before we do anything today, I want to get started and talk about our sponsor. Today, we have a very special sponsor. It is Fluffernutter Marshmallow Fluff. It tastes great, and it works. No brown cows were hurt in the making of this marshmallow fluff. We're actually experiencing some technical difficulties right now. So now that you know who our sponsor is, we'll be back with you in a few minutes. We're just going to have to restart. It needs to be. We're back, we're good? Sorry about that, guys. We had a few minor difficulties on the computer, but we're back now, and we still love Fluffernutter. It tastes great, and it works. No brown cows were hurt in the making of this Fluffernutter marshmallow fluff. With me tonight, I have another very special guest. Tonight with us, we have Absorbent Austin, who also happens to be me, but Scottish. But he doesn't speak Scottish because, well, he only actually has the left half of his brain. It's a big issue. We won't get into it tonight, but we're gonna we'll talk about it later. We're gonna dive in and we're gonna talk about our meme. Let's look at our meme tonight. What do we got? We have our cat meme tonight. Very surprised, very shocked looking.
Very.
That's the same face I make every single time I look in my fridge. Not because I'm surprised. Not because I'm surprised. I'm just so joyful and so mesmerized.
So you're telling me that you haven't memorized your fridge?
Yeah. Every single time something new's in there, it's just it's shocking every single time. But we do have an example meme which was sent in by one of our youth, which we can show to you right now. This was sent in by Shauna. It says, when the youth group starts singing before the youth pastor gets on stage. How is that acceptable? How dare they? That's not allowed. So if you guys feel free to send us in some captions for that in the chat. We'll be watching for them. And that's an interesting comment. I'm not going to read that. And also feel free to ask us questions later on in the night. We'll do a Q&A, as we usually do. You guys haven't talked to Austin yet, so Absorbent Austin. So you'll get your chance to talk to him. Now, we want to introduce a new segment to you tonight, where we're going to go into some news. We are going to talk about things that are going on in our Awaken family, and we're going to get right into that. Let's get right into the news. Today in the Awaken family, this household introduces a new set of stairs. And here to tell us about it is Coach.
Hello, I'm Coach. Here's my new set of stairs. As you can see, this first stair is not new, it's old, and it will be changed at one point, maybe in about 2 years from now. But we'll leave it as that. This stair gave me a little bit of issues. Just trying to get him in, fit him around this little corner. I had to rerouter the edge here, and then I'm going to stain it a little bit. This stair, again, Monica told me what to do, and I didn't listen, so I extended a little further, but she did like it, so that's okay. So this stair, as you can see, there's like a little itty bitty bug, and it's about to die. So this stair is dedicated to this bug that's about to die.
Absolutely beautiful. If I hadn't had my tear ducts removed, I'd be crying right now. That was wonderful. We do have another piece of news for you. In other news, our very own Pastor Caleb this week was seen wearing very tiny shoes. We don't have a picture of them, but these are, I'm pretty sure, were the exact shoes that he had on his feet. They're very tiny. It was very exciting. I really wish that everyone could have seen it, but unfortunately, it was just me. But I witnessed it, so I thought I would tell you a little bit about what's going on in our Awaken family. But we do have more news from the stairs. Let's go back. Coach, tell us more.
As we move on to the next set of stairs right here, this is probably my favorite one, but I have no reason why. So if we move to this one is dedicated to Andrew because it is smooth like his bottom. As we move up to this one, one's more like Ethan because it has different kind of textures and colors and stuff, and that's just kind of what Ethan is. He's a different texture kind of guy.
All right. Thank you, Coach, for that. Absolutely wonderful. We know you have more stairs. We'll be back to them in a little bit, right?
We will.
Right, Absorbent Austin?
Yes.
But for now, we do have a guest on the show, and even though it's Absorbent Austin, we still want to know a little bit about him. So, Absorbent Austin, please, in typical Awaken morning show fashion, tell us your origin story. Where did you come from?
Well,
How did you get
take
here?
it all the way back? So, I was born and raised in a small town on a farm, actually. Any farmers out there? Yeah? Yeah. So, I was a chicken. Yeah. And so, my life started out pretty good. I had no complaints. I was fed. I don't really know what happened to my parents, but I was fed. And but my life kind of changed. When I was only 2 weeks old, this lizard, he came in to the farm, and he started eating the grass, right where I was. And at first I wasn't sure what to make of this, right? And I was kind of shocked that this lizard would even think of doing that. And so I left it, right? What can you do? And weeks later, he comes back again, eats the same grass. So this time I confront him. I'm like, buddy, okay, that's my grass, I eat that. He didn't respond. I'm not sure what happened there, but he didn't respond. And so this goes on for months, and I'm starting to get a little bit emotional.
Yeah, as one would when a lizard is eating their grass.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to stand there and watch my grass be eaten?
I'm sorry, you were a chicken?
Yes.
Carry on then.
And so this is where it gets a little bit interesting.
Yes, because it's not
I
already.
ended up getting surgery on my brain. Half of it was removed. Fast forward, I'm now in a factory. They told me you get to work here for free, and I got fed. And food is kind of my thing, right? So
Indeed.
Anyways, so I just started eating, right? They gave me grain and grain and grain, and grain is one of my favorite foods. So I'm just eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. You want to know what happens next? I notice some of my buddies are missing. What do? I keep eating. And I keep eating. I keep eating. And I keep eating.
Did you eat?
I ate. I kept eating.
You ate the
and
brain.
And I kept eating, and I kept eating. And
Wow.
so, anyways, an arm grows. I had a wing, an arm starts growing. Just this arm. It was this arm. And then,
Okay, this has been really, really good. I think I pieced together the rest. You became a human, and everyone around you just hung their heads in boredom or something. I don't know. But we're gonna go
What do you mean by
and
that?
let's check in on the stairs. How are the stairs doing?
yes.
Let's go there.
Move to this one. Probably dedicated to Braden, because he didn't help me with these stairs at all. So I dedicate this stair to Braden because he just says, hey, they look really good, but did nothing. Just he goes like them all the time. That's about it. And he thinks he works at Walmart. So, as we go to this one, as you can see, there's going to be set lights on either side here to illuminate the beautiness of the stair. And as you begin to illuminate the beautiness, that is dedicated to my wife because she's beautiful. So, and then as we move on forward, this one here has some nice little seam work, crack work that has been filled in with a little bit of putty, adding a little bit of a stain, and then a super nice gloss, which makes it real nice. So move up to here, and we're getting closer to Emma's stairs. She's just standing right there, looking at you, wondering what in the world is going on. And she doesn't realize she's part of the choose.
Thank you, Coach, again for bringing some life to this interview. Oh, okay.
What?
Don't worry about it, dude. Coo. Anywho, let's, we have a little bit of a game planned. Every week here on the Awaken Morning Show, we play a game. And before we go into the game, Austin, I wanted to talk to you about one of your passions that I heard you were really passionate about.
Eating?
Not eating.
What could it
I've
be?
heard and I've seen in previous weeks that you were very passionate about ASMR, and you were an avid ASMR enthusiast.
You gotta be kidding me. This can't be happening right now.
It is.
You guys, no way.
Okay, so anyway. Oh, this is, okay. We planned a game. I made up a game about ASMR, but first I wanted to ask you, what does ASMR mean to you?
ASMR is really, it's more than just ASMR.
Okay, you've hit your time limit on that. We're gonna play the game now. So, Austin, the way that this is gonna work is that I'm gonna blindfold you. So I'm gonna ask that you take off your glasses. Yeah, take them off. Blindfold. Blindfold on.
Yes, it is.
Can you see? Can you see?
No.
Well, I don't believe you. Put on this other blindfold.
Okay.
Yeah, put on that too. 2 blindfolds. We're double blindfolding you. And he threw his mic on the ground. Oh. I think next week we're gonna.
Someone grabbing my mic.
Absorbent Austin's a little bit of a one-hit wonder. But the way that this game's gonna work, we're gonna. Oh, how are we gonna do this? I'm related to Austin, for those of you who don't know, so I'm allowed to get within 6 feet of him. And I'm gonna grab his mic for him because he truly can't see. Now, the way that this game is gonna work is that, Austin, you're gonna put on these headphones that are specially formulated to pick up on my microphone.
Okay.
But not the microphone that I'm wearing. I have another microphone. Is it loud?
Yes.
Perfect, that's what I need to hear. Welcome to your personal ASMR experience.
This is unreal.
Okay, so the way that this game is going to work is that I am going to eat something or drink something. I am going to create an ASMR sound into this microphone, and Austin is going to have to tell me what it is that I'm eating. No, you can't smell. That's cheating. You guys see the words up there on the screen? Give you a little bit of a hint of what I'm doing so that you guys are aware too. The only one who will not be aware will be Austin. Are you ready for the first ASMR?
Yes.
Perfect.
Is it nerds?
Oh, yes, it's nerds. Good job, Absorbent Austin. That was kind of impressive. Maybe you're not completely only half a brain. Time for round 2. No peeking, Austin.
No, I can't see.
I feel like we chose some noisy packages.
Chips.
Yes. Yes, it is chips. This last one is going to be the toughest one for Austin. By far. Because there's not going to be any package helping you get the answer. Here we go.
Let me think.
Ooh, we might have got him on this one.
A bit of swirling in the mouth. That could be any drink.
You gotta tell us what kind.
Based on your reaction, I'm going to say it was iced tea.
It was not iced tea. You may take off your blindfold. Our drink today was grape soda, which is extremely flat and very old that I found in the basement. Now, we want to take another moment and tell you about our sponsor, Fluffernutter Marshmallow Fluff. It tastes great and it works. No brown cows were hurt in the making of this marshmallow fluff. Now, that's going to do it for our game today. But we do have one more thing that we'd also like to wrap up, which is the stairs. What is the conclusion of the stairs? I'm dying to know. Tell us.
Then we come to this stair over here. This stair was the second one that actually got glued in. Just wanted to let you know. And then we move up to this stair right over here. This stair is kind of, has all different markings in it, and it was stained twice, so it's a little darker than the other stairs that are here, and just a wonderfulness. And then here, just want to create an incompleteness, because we're not all perfect. And just like Emma, myself, especially Andrew, and especially Braden, because he didn't help me with nothing on these stairs. We're just incomplete, and we always need something to fill in the cracks in our lives, and you probably know what that is. Coca-Cola. So there we go. And then we come up to Emma. Hey Emma, you say hi? Who's there? Where's the cat? Where's the squirrel? Get him, get him, get him, get him. There we go. Welcome to the stairs.
Thank you for introducing us to your squares, Coach. Very much appreciated. It made my night. Now we want to go back. We're going to jump back to something that we already talked about, which was our meme. We want to talk about our meme. We have two memes to show you. This is our meme. This is our meme that we've been having you guys caption throughout the night. We have two memes that we have here that me and Austin want to look at and just really dissect. This woman will put bees in your office. Can we stop her? Is it just happening no matter? I don't want bees in my office. Oh, that's a good one. We do one more. Let's take a look at it. My shampoo bottles after I come up with the perfect comeback in my imaginary argument. Oh, snap! Got that person really good. But let's go back to our meme caption that we have. We have a few captions that we put in. We already showed you Shauna's caption. We could put that back up. When the youth group starts singing before the youth pastor gets on stage. And we have one here from Caleb Seitzma. When your brother takes a bite out of his chicken before you pray. That happens all the time.
It does. Kyler.
Toby is the worst at waiting for prayer.
Oh, right. Toby.
Yes. You know, that one. The one with all the fur all over him. Now, me and Austin are both going to come up with a caption for this meme, but before we do, we just want to remind you about Fluffer Nutter Marshmallow Fluff. It tastes great, and it works. No brown cows were hurt in the making of this marshmallow fluff. Now, Austin, I'm going to give you a second here to come up with a caption for this meme. And I already have one prepared. So my caption that I came up for with this meme is the airport security's reaction after he tells you you can't bring liquids on board and you drink your entire shampoo bottle in one gulp. That's my caption for the meme. Do you have one, Austin?
I might need a minute here.
Okay, that's all the time we have for you to work on a meme caption. So we're gonna take another look at your guys' memes. We have one here from Alex. When you realize that coach calls stairs squares. That's pretty good. We also have one from Amy Babawi. When you're not chosen to be the guest on Awaken Morning Show.
Salty.
She's mad. And let's take a look. Have we got any up? We have one here from, it looks like Ashley. When your dad and dog are blocking the only exit after eating beans. Yeah, that's don't want to open your mouth. You don't want to make that face at that moment. That's a bad idea. That's the opposite of what you want. So guys, please take a vote in chat for those. If you guys also have questions for me and Austin, we can talk about those as well. So shoot those into chat. What we'll do right now is last week we put out a weekend challenge, which was to eat 6 saltine crackers in a minute, a very classic challenge, and we have some submissions for that. So while you guys are voting on the meme and while we're submitting questions, we'll take a look at those. Sometime in the next millennia. Don't worry, it'll happen. I'm confident. In the meantime, Fluffer Nutter Marshmallow Fluff while we're waiting for our weekend challenge videos.
Tastes great, and it works.
And it works.
No brown cows were hurt in the making of Fluffer Nutters.
Marshmallow Fluff.
Here we go.
guys, welcome back to this week's weekend challenge, where we attempt to eat 6 what are they called?
Saltine crackers?
Saltine crackers. And I will let you know, we found a way to succeed in under 60 seconds, didn't we, Austin?
We did.
It was pretty good.
That's right.
So here, get ready to watch our 6 crackers in 60 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Well, that didn't really work, so we decided to try some other things, and we'll see how that goes.
So for our first idea, we decided to make a smoothie. Bit of a smoothie we're making there. We blended up some water and crackers, and then we decided, well, let's give this a try. And looked a little bit gross at first, but we just kept eating it and drinking it. Until Jordan puked, and that was all a disaster.
All right, so for our next attempt, we canned some crackers in just a basic water brine and decided to eat them. So you can see we were struggling to get them out of the jar and came out a little broken, but they're on the plates now. So here we go. We season them with a little salt and pepper before tasting them, and then in they go. And as you can tell, this was a fail.
So for our next idea, we we got some crackers and put a little bit of cheese on there, and then here we are getting hot sauce. Jordan didn't think she needed that much, but I was like no, and this was quite interesting. As you can see, we pick it up and go to eat it. First it's okay, and then we realize it's quite hot and spicy. So, yeah.
Thank goodness for water. And here we have actually discovered how we could finally make this work. So you see we each have 6 chocolate chips, and we taste them slowly to see how this goes, and then quickly finish them all in under 60 seconds. So some people may consider our final amazing attempt where we actually succeeded, kind of against some of the rules, but I don't know, we're just pretty happy that we were able to succeed in what we were doing. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And what's that thing we say?
And no brown cows were hurt in the making of this film.
See you guys next week. Vote for us.
Go follow.
Not as easy as it sounds, is it? 30 seconds left.
Uh,
Wait even. Because it kicked out on me, I waited too long. We've got about 15 seconds. 10 seconds.
I'm ramen.
And it is
time.
That's 6 crackers? Thought you said this was easy.
Thought you were gonna do way more than 6.
Crackers. Oh, jeez. Jiggy.
2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay, here's Caleb, ready to do the saltine challenge. You got your watch set, Caleb?
Yep.
Ready? And go. Remember, you have to have all the saltines cleared from your mouth by the end of the minute. I'm gonna suggest you chew faster.
Drink some water with it.
No water allowed. Kev, you should be doing the saltine challenge.
Wow.
You better hurry up. You're gonna run out of time.
Yeah, shut up. 30 seconds.
30 seconds and you're not even done the first 3. You got a motor. Shove those 3 in all at the same time.
Yeah, I wonder if you throw 6 in at once, if it's better.
That's what my thinking is. Just shove them all in. I mean, it's not like they're that big.
I'm just gonna get this done.
Come on, get that last one in there. Oh, heck!
Oh, 5.
Oh, good try, Caleb. You got them all in there, but they weren't quite down.
Good job to all of our participants, mainly Alex and Caleb. You guys did a good job.
Wait,
as
what?
You actually attempted the saltine cracker challenge. It's not an easy challenge. We're proud of you for that. Alex and Caleb, you guys did a really good job.
And the other, everyone did a really good job, actually.
There's one that we're not gonna mention, but the rest of you did a really good job. We're really proud of you. So guys, shoot a vote into the chat on which one you think was the winner between Alex and Caleb. They were pretty close, I would say. I don't know if Caleb quite got 5 done, and I'm not really sure what Alex ended up with at the minute mark. I think he had like 2 or 3 in his mouth at the time. So shoot a vote into the chat on who you think won that between Alex and Caleb. You don't have to mention the other one. You don't have to do that. But anyway, we got some votes for our meme, and it's looking like in first place we have Mr. Caleb Seitzma with his "When your brother takes a bite of his chicken before you pray." Looks like that'll be our first place winner for tonight with 3 votes. We're not gonna count Caleb's 6 votes for himself, but he did win without them. So good job to you, Caleb, with that meme caption. It was very good. I loved it a lot. And you're gonna get a snack pack, an Awaken snack pack. So pick that up on Thursday. That's our official pickup day for snack packs is Thursday. And yeah, come in, pick it up. We won't touch you. Now, we also asked you for some Q&A questions, but before we get to that, we're getting some votes for our weekend challenge, and it's looking like that is also going to be Caleb. We only have a few votes, and one of them I'm just going to disregard, and the other 2 are going to be for Caleb. Woo. Good job, Caleb. You won again, so that means you get your name entered into a draw to get $60 to any Awaken Youth event that's like one of the bigger ones. So, for example, in the future, History Maker, Teen Camp, Pulse, things like that. You guys, you should really take advantage of the opportunity to participate in these weekend challenges because there is a decent sum of money on the line that you can, that goes towards your youth adventure. But I think we just have one question for you, Austin.
Shoot.
How long were you a chicken?
See, that's a tough one to really say, go into full detail here, but
Please don't. Give us half detail, please. Please.
because we have to kind of convert chicken to human years, and that's a whole different story. So if you want to get your calculators out, I believe it's seven.
Don't do that.
Human years to every one chicken year.
That's an inaccurate
similar to
fact.
dogs, and so yeah, get your calculators out. And I'm 15 right now, so if you guys want to calculate, wait, yeah.
I cannot believe it's my own flesh and blood that's breaking me. It's the host of the Awaken Morning Show. All right. To wrap up the show, I hope you enjoyed it more than I did. But to wrap up tonight, we want to talk to you one last time about Fluffernutter's marshmallow fluff before we go into our sermon tonight. It tastes great, and it works. No brown cows were hurt in the making of this marshmallow fluff. Thank you. Have a good morning.
The only question I have for you is this: are you awake?
Austin, get out of the way. Watch out. Watch out. Social distance. Social distance. It's okay. Hi, guys. So that was a pretty sweet video. I hope you guys liked it. We are reopening youth. Can I get an amen? Amen. We are reopening. We met as a leadership team. We call ourselves ALT, in case you didn't know that. So ALT, not control, not delete. ALT met on Sunday night, just a couple nights ago, and we talked about it. We made up this plan. I will be posting this tomorrow on Instagram because today is, what is today called? Blackout Tuesday. And I didn't want to post anything in respect of that. If you want to know more about that, just go on the internet, Google it. But nonetheless, we have changed our calendar. So take note, we are doing things a little bit differently. We were going to do a couple of events, but we actually ex-nayed those and switched things up. So if you look at the calendar to my right here, let's see if I can touch the box. Well, okay. It's technically on my right. Anyways, Kyler's saying it's on my left. If you look at the calendar, we have a few events here. We have, next week, we have a field games night. We're going to be playing Tip It. And so we're going to be socially distanced at all of these events. So we're going to be playing Tip It, socially distanced. There's going to be pizza. Bring like a couple bucks for that, for pizza. That'd be much appreciated. We're going to order it. We're going to serve it for you, gloves and all. So it's going to be nice and sanitary. And then in a couple weeks, we are going to have a small group night. So small group leaders are going to put together a plan. And you guys are probably going to hang out here, there, and everywhere around Williams Lake as small groups. And then the week after that, we have a grad banquet night. and Awaken Awards night. So that's going to be happening downstairs. If you guys remember our Christmas party, it's very similar to that. We're going to have the long tables. We're going to space them out a bit so that you're enough distance away this way, and that we're also going to space it out on the seating and stuff. We might have a lot more tables, but we're going to make it work so we can still kind of have a good time. We're going to have some appies that we're going to cook from frozen so that we're not pre-making. We're following all these rules, so it's good. And it's going to be a good time. So you guys want to come to that, dress up in your fanciest fancy shirts and your tuxes and your dress suits, whatever you guys want to wear, your dresses. We're going to have just a really, really good time. It's going to be both fun, but also serious as we celebrate our grads and kind of send them off and pray for them and interview them a little bit and kind of have some fun with them. And then the week after that, there's a couple of you guys that are in grade 6, and you guys are awesome. We love you. But for the next few weeks, we're going to ask you to wait until this last event, which is Messy Night. This is the official night that we welcome grade 6s into the youth group. And so we would ask that you wait till that night and come on out, invite your friends that are in grade 6, and join us as we have a messy night. Come prepared with an extra pair of clothes, with a towel, etc., maybe shampoo. Just don't eat it like Kyler. And it's going to be a good time. We're going to be here at the church a little bit, here over the field a little bit, and there's going to be probably a paint war of sorts and some other messy games. It's going to be fun. And so that's kind of the plan for the next few weeks, and so stay in touch for that. Also, we are meeting up for Awaken Pursuit in person now, so that's going to be happening starting this Sunday night. We're going to meet in person here at the church, downstairs on the couches, and we'll kind of add some chairs to make sure everyone can fit in there, socially distanced. Again, this is all following the rules. And we're going to continue our Bible study in John chapter 15, the last part of it. It's going to be good. So come on out to that. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. I will bring Timbits. Come on, Timbits. Free food. And there will be some coffee or tea. If you guys want to make yourself something, again, keeping it sanitary, keeping it S. It's good. And then that's all I kind of have for you guys at this point. So, guys, continue to connect through different ways. We have our Meme Monday challenge every week. We have our weekend challenge. And there's lots of different ways to connect. So that's all I have to tell you guys about. We're going to watch our sermon video. And so Kingsley's going to put that on. And then we're going to meet on Zoom afterwards.
So, when you don't know how to do something, how to fix something, or how something works, what do? Ask a teacher? Ask your parents? Ask your friends? Ask someone you really know and trust? No! You go to the internet and ask some randos. But I'm not talking about creeps here, I hope. No, I mean the people of the internet! You know, those people who make how-to videos. Because chances are, if you're trying to figure out something, someone on the internet has already figured it out for you. Things like, how do I unsend a text? No. How do I do a winged eyeliner? How do I get rid of the zit by Friday night? How do I get out of gym class? How do I screen cap Snapchat without getting caught? They'll never know. But then there are things in life that don't have an easy fix, that don't have a simple solution, that don't have a how-to video. Things like what to do when you have problems with family, or when it seems like you have no control in your life, or what to do when someone has done something to you. I mean, clearly, they gotta go. The truth is, there's a lot of life that doesn't have a solution you can just find online. So how do you know what to do when you don't know what to do?
When I was in school, you could order a couple tacos and drink water, and you could have a great after-school snack for around $1, making it the perfect place for those of us who were short on cash. The only problem was, $1 for me was still a lot of money. So there were a lot of days when I showed up at Taco Bell and I did not have the money to order anything. So on those days, I just played it off real coolly and said that I wasn't hungry. My friend Mike would pay attention when I said I wasn't hungry, and he knew it was more of a money issue than a hunger issue. So he would tell me, just order a couple tacos, I got you. And every time Mike would cover for me, I'd say, man, thank you so much, I'll pay you back. And he would say, no need, you're good. Now, to this day, I still remember that. I was this poor sophomore who couldn't afford to buy cheap tacos, and Mike was this really wealthy junior who picked up my tab without asking for payback. Not seeking payback is really heartwarming and cozy when it comes to borrowing money for tacos, but that is not always the case. Outside of paying money back to someone you owe, the idea of payback also comes up when someone hurts us. For example, when someone talks about us behind our back, we want payback. When someone flirts with our girlfriend or boyfriend, we want payback. When someone fails to text us back or invite us to a group outing, we want payback. In those moments when we've been hurt, we want payback. We want revenge. We want them to feel the pain and the hurt that we felt. We want them to be embarrassed the way we were embarrassed. We want to get back at them for the pain they caused us. Our first reaction almost always is to get even, to seek revenge, to make someone feel the same discomfort that we felt when they hurt us. And isn't it true that the closer we are to a person, the more we want payback? Most of you aren't trying to pay back someone else's brother or sister. Your feelings probably aren't hurt because of someone else's best friend. You probably aren't angry because of what someone else did. The people who are closest to you and the people who know you best have the most potential to hurt you. And when they do, we want payback. Now, for most of us, payback comes in one of three ways. First, public payback. This is when we do to them what they did to us in an obvious way. We talk bad about the person who talked bad about us. We snap back and make some cutting statements to them in return. Second, passive payback. Now this way is way more subtle. We make comments that aren't obviously hurtful, but could be interpreted that way. We put that subtle posts on social media. We roll our eyes when someone talks. We ignore someone else's texts. Third, imaginary payback. This one's my favorite. Now this is when payback happens when we have an argument in our minds and we dominate. We get the last word even though the offense will never actually be discussed. It just takes over our thoughts and we never do anything about it. And what's amazing is that sometimes we do have the opportunity for payback. And if not payback, then at least the chance to celebrate when things fall apart for the person who hurt us. Like when someone who hurts us messes up and now we are loaded up with ammunition to kick them while they're down. Or when our ex who broke up with us for someone else then gets dumped. Or when our mom snaps at us and hurts our feelings and now she's crying and apologizing and it is just the perfect setup for us to put an exclamation mark on her regret. In those moments, it feels like karma, doesn't it? I mean, karma just means that you'll get what's coming to you, whether that's good or bad. And that is exactly the sort of situation that Joseph found himself in as we wrap up our story. Now, in this series, we have been journeying through the life of Joseph, whose story is found in the book of Genesis. And his story is a wild one. I mean, early in this series, we talked about how Joseph knew he was his dad's favorite and then rubbed it in his brothers' faces. Joseph also has a dream where he was in charge of the whole family and then he tells his older brothers about it, which only made matters worse, like, not cool, Joe. So Joseph's brothers plot to kill him, which seems like a slight overreaction, but like, I wasn't there. Instead, they see a group of travelers traveling through the town and they decide to make a little money by selling Joseph as a slave. The rest of the series has covered Joseph as a slave in Egypt, Joseph as a slave in a prison in Egypt, and Joseph as the man who interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh, who was the ruler of Egypt. Now Joseph is eventually placed in charge of all of Egypt. He is the second in command to Pharaoh, and that is not a bad outcome for a kid who was sold into slavery by his own brothers. But then there's a plot twist. After Joseph is second in command, there's this big famine where his family lives. So Joseph's dad, Jacob, sent the brothers to Egypt to ask for food. Now at this point in the story, Joseph's family thought he was dead. I mean, they weren't even thinking about the possibility of seeing Joseph when they get to Egypt to ask for food. When they arrive in Egypt and see Joseph, not knowing that it's Joseph, a huge drama unfolds. And you can read some of these interactions between Joseph and his brothers in Genesis 42 through 50. And trust me, you do not want to miss it. I mean, reading through the back and forth, knowing the backstory, it's like watching a movie. All right, so let's pick up in Genesis 45. Then Joseph could no longer control himself before all his attendants, and he cried out, "Have everyone leave my presence." So there was no one with Joseph when he made himself known to his brothers, and he wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard him, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. And Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph, is my father still living?" But his brothers were not able to answer him because they were terrified at his presence. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Come close to me." When they had done so, he said, "I am your brother Joseph." Father still living, but his brothers were not able to answer him because they were terrified at his presence. Then Joseph said to his brothers, come close to me." When they had done so, he said, "I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. For 2 years now there has been famine in the land, and for the next 5 years there will be no plowing and reaping. But God sent me ahead of you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance." Now, there's only one reason Joseph could have responded the way he did. He didn't try to get payback because he had already let go of the idea of revenge. He had already done the hard work of forgiveness. How do we know that? Because Joseph could look in the eyes of the ones who had caused him the most grief, and he could see beyond his own hurt. When Joseph said, "Do not be distressed, do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here," he was acknowledging their wrong and his hurt without seeking payback. Only a healed person could do this. Only someone who had forgiven could do this. Now, Joseph chose forgiveness over payback, and we see that in the moment where he had the greatest opportunity for revenge. Somewhere between being sold into slavery and being reunited with his brothers, Joseph did the hard work of giving his hurt to God and allowing God to be central in his healing. And that's why Joseph was quick to acknowledge God in the area where his brothers had caused him the most pain. It didn't make what his brothers did okay. It didn't make Joseph's pain any less. It just took the real pain and the real hurt and no longer put them at center stage. It put God there instead. And that made forgiveness possible. Forgiveness was not only for his brothers, it was freedom from his own pain too. Joseph went on to tell his brothers to go get their father and move the entire family to Egypt because the famine would continue, and without making this move, his family would suffer. And then this happens. And he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. Afterwards, his brothers talked with him. This is the perfect picture of reconciliation. This is where we see peace take over a relationship that was incredibly fractured, all because of forgiveness. When it comes to other people hurting us, we too have the opportunity to choose reconciliation over payback. In fact, here's a simple way to remember it. When you don't know what to do, pursue peace instead of payback. When you pursue peace, you build a bridge. Payback burns bridges. In other words, you can fight to win, to be right, to get even, to make a point, or you can fight for the relationship, but you cannot do both. When you pursue peace, you fight for the relationship. Joseph preserved his relationship with all of his brothers because he chose peace, and he was only able to do that because he fought for forgiveness, and he was only able to forgive with the help of God. Now, Joseph didn't have a superpower that allowed him to do all of this. He just had determination to do the work that peace requires, which means that you and I can do this too. When you pursue peace, you lay down your right to get payback. You let go of revenge. You say goodbye to your desire to get even. Instead, you choose the path of forgiveness. You choose God's story of reconciliation instead of your own story of payback and revenge. Now, this is way easier said than done, and something that you may have to work at every day, but the ultimate benefit is for you. You not only have peace in the relationship, you have peace within you. Now, when Joseph encountered situations where he didn't know what to do, he trusted that God had a much bigger story in mind. I believe that Joseph knew that peace was better than payback. Even though Joseph had no clue whether he would ever see his brothers in person again, when he did, he was ready because he had done the work of forgiveness in his own heart. He had given his hurts over to God. So as you head out, think about what you have the power to do when it comes to pursuing peace. What do you need to decide in your heart? Who do you need to forgive? What offense do you need to bring to God? He can do incredible things with your fractured story. It starts with you and I choosing to forgive so that we can pursue peace instead of payback.
Oh, we're back. Wow. Didn't notice you guys. You pulled a little sneaky on us. We're back, and we had a complaint or two that we didn't answer questions that were submitted after we were done. But we're back because we just love you guys so much. Mm-hmm. So the first one is from Andrew Smith that we didn't get to, and it's for Austin. Austin, who is the fourth person in your missed calls?
Well, actually, this one's it's hard for me to talk about, but it was Kingsley. I cried. I looked at my phone. I saw that I'd missed Kingsley's call, and I was like, shoot! And I started crying, and then I immediately called him back. I would never miss a call for you, Kingsley, except for that one.
Those are definitely troubling times. I can't say that I've ever missed a call from Kingsley. They're too high priority for me. But if I ever did, I would need a couple buckets of ice cream. The next one's also for Austin, and it's how long did you work at the factory?
Well, I think they were putting something in the grain because I don't really remember much of the factory. Like, I don't remember my time. I don't remember ever sleeping. I just grain. It was ingrained in my mind.
That's it. Have a good night, everyone. Goodbye.
Oh, he's coming back.
I'm back. I'm just kidding. That was just such a bad joke that I couldn't stay sitting down. I had to get up for that. Here's our next question. Who won the Meme in the Weekend Challenge? Sherry, you already know the answer, so I'm just not going to... No, it was Caleb. Andrew Smith said, what about my question? Andrew Smith, we answered your question now.
We did.
Because we love you.
Okay, Smith?
Okay, Smith. Okay. Thank you. And that'll do it for those questions, but we just want to briefly touch on one question, which will be our first small group question tonight in our Zoom meetings, which is, what are some low-key ways that people get payback on others? Austin, do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, this is one I can actually relate to in my life.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Back at the chicken farm,
Oh, no.
the lizard, I remember talking about the lizard, like, so anyways, this guy, he keeps coming and eating my grass. So I'm like, I'm done with that. So anyways, I decided to pull a little sneaky on the guy. I put a little bit of gasoline on the grass. So all that grass
Okay, that's good. Okay, good.
is dead.
No, that's plenty from you. Absorbent Austin. Yeah, Absorbent Austin, everyone. He's been great. I think it's time. Thank you for being on the show. Please, the door's over there. Have a good night, Austin. Thank you for being here. But I have a thought or two on that, and it involves gossip, are my thoughts on payback, which is usually one that I've seen a lot of go around in circles that I've been in, and just high school situations where someone will say something about someone else that someone might not want revealed, and it'll get passed around, and so they kind of just sneakily get payback that way. And that's my answer for that question. But our Zoom meeting is going to start in about a minute and a half, 1 minute. So feel free to jump in and join us with that. I thank you for being here. I want to remind you one more time about Fluffernutters Marshmallow Fluff. It tastes great and it works. No brown cows were hurt in the making of this marshmallow fluff. Good morning, Awaken.